Hello and welcome to the Kindred Essence Tarot and to my latest reading about what is the next pet you will have in your life. So I've got three piles here and I'm going to go, for this reading, I'm going to go into details about the next pet that you're going to attract or draw into your life. And I may go into the specifics of the pet, the emotionality of the pet. I'm not actually sure yet, because I haven't yet gone into the piles. But that's the topic is about your next pet that you're going to draw into your life. So take a look at the three piles. Pile number one, the red flashlight pile. Pile number two, the green flashlight pile. And pile number three, the green cat toy pile. And we'll see what pet you are going to draw into your life next. All right, let's get started. Hello, pile number one. What pet, or even pets, who knows, you are going to draw into your life next. So we've got the red flashlight pile, pile number one. Let's see what cards we get. Let's see what kind of pet wants to show up. So Queen of Cups in reverse, Four of Pentacles upright, Six of Wands in reverse, and the Page of Swords in reverse. So I hear that you're going to attract into your life, a pet that I'm getting different threads. I'm getting different threads here. I'm hearing number one, you could attract into your life a pet that you've had before that was interesting. What I'm getting, very kind of challenging, but in a different form. Like I'm getting that you're going to attract into your pet life a reincarnation of a pet that you had before that was not always easy. Like it was like, so you may recollect a pet that you've had maybe as a child, or it really the pet had an affinity for you, or else it wouldn't reincarnate to you. But it tended to be very, I'm seeing either difficult and difficult to train, but it was very charming. It was a very charming pet, but and I'm hearing it's going to come to you in a different form. I'm hearing either a smaller form or a different, like it could be either a rodent it's coming back as, or it was a rodent, or it was like a really difficult yappy dog I'm hearing, or a a very powerful dog that was quite difficult. Or so it could come back in, I'm hearing that some cases it will come back in a similar form, but in some a completely different form. So you won't be, a smaller form. You won't be expecting it, but it was a very almost powerfully difficult, impetuous, very smart, very very wily almost, but you could not contain this. It was almost too smart for its own good, this pet. And I'm hearing for in other cases, a pet is coming in because it really, really wants to help you. It wants to help. This pet wants to balance out your emotional state. And I'm hearing, yeah, I'm seeing different images of different pets. I'm seeing it was, or it come back. Interesting. I'm getting in cases a rodent or a gerbil, a really white flowing dog. It was, or it come back as like a very tall white flowing dog. So I'm getting either, but either it's difficult, or it's always got a trick up its sleeves. It's always got, you can't contain it. It's one step ahead of you. But in another case, I see that it wants to come back. It wants to help balance something out. Either it really wants to help you in an emotional, spiritual manner, I'm hearing. Or it's like it, yeah, it really wants to come out and balance you in a spiritual. So I'm seeing images, a flowy dog, like, the emotional. It's got, I see very emotional, loving eyes, but sometimes it can be up to things as well too. So I'm getting like two different energies for this, but really, but the Page of Swords, really smart, but too smart for its own good. Something like, oh, this, like a handful. I'm hearing a very handful, or it's a very it wants to balance you, come back and balance you. It's got very flowy fur, or it had very flowy fur, and it wants to come back and balance you out emotionally or spiritually. It really wants to be your spiritual guide, and it's almost like it's clamoring to come in. It's very much clamoring to get in. It's very adamant that it end up with you. I'm hearing very adamant that it ends up with you, and it wants to sort of. I'm hearing it wants to take you to a victory. It really wants to be part of your victory. I'm getting the sense that it wants to help you be victorious or something. That's why it wants to come into your life again. Or I'm hearing it's, yeah, it was something, it was with you as a child, but it wants to be, or it wants to be back, and it wants to be part of your victory. And it's very much, it's like, this is the right time. I want to come back. It's very adamant. It's a very kind of stubborn. And I got this image of a very stubborn dog too, with the Four of Pentacles. It's like, no, this is the way I want things to be. And I like, if it wants to way things to be a certain way, it wants things to be a certain way, and that's the way it's going to be. I heard that's the way it's going to be, and there's nothing you can do about it. But also, I hear it's a flowing, loving energy. It wants to imbue that in your life. So, Two of Cups. When will it come back? I hear it will come back. It either wants to help you love yourself more. It will come back when you're in a sort of a stable, in some cases, like a stable love relationship. It will come back in. Or in some cases, it's sort of like it wanted you to be with somebody else before it came back. It didn't like your partner or something. It didn't like, yeah, it didn't like your partner, so it wants to come back, or it wants to help you love yourself more, or it could come back in, or I'm hearing it could have something about February. I'm hearing it could have come back in February, or it will come back in February. I'm hearing, but that's only for some that it resonates. Something about February, but it's. I'm hearing in some cases it doesn't like your. It wants to come back. It wants to help you, but it didn't like your partner or something. So it wants to, or it didn't like your partner. It wants to come back when you have another partner, or it will come into your life with a new partner. It will be the pet attached to a new partner coming into your life. Something about that. Or February, I'm hearing. But February or spring. It could happen next spring, I'm hearing. But I hear the timing isn't that important, but the energy is. And yeah, I'm hearing that it could come in with a new partner. It could be like it could somehow use a new partner, like you get with somebody, and it's the new partner's dog. I'm hearing in some cases, and it will, like, oh, it's like it planned it. Interesting. I'm hearing this image, this new partner that you, for some that pick the pile that are drawing into your life, it it chose your partner, not it likes you better. Like it will be clear that it likes you better, but it kind of knew that you were going to end up with this person, so it went for this partner. But it's like, oh, I just went to this partner because I wanted to end up with you, and I knew you were going to end up with you. But it will be kind of, it likes you better, but it was just kind of strange that it's with this person. But it was just sort of, it sounds like a funny, we used this partner to come into your life, or we'll use this partner to come into your life. That's its ultimate plan. Interesting. Let's see what else. See what else. The wedding. Yeah, so it's using. I'm getting the energy. Well, it uses the partner, or it's glad you didn't get married to someone. It's saying it's glad you broke it off with someone because it couldn't have. It didn't want to enter your life with this person or something. Interesting. It's glad you didn't get married to someone. Hope. And it has great hope for you, because it's hearing you don't have a lot of hope sometimes, like you don't feel, but it has this I'm getting a dog, but it could be, I think this dog has great hope for you, even though you don't have hope for yourself. So it's a very wise, almost spiritual being, alien. It has great hope for you, having a good more love in its life, and it hopes to be a part of that. This pet. Um, let's see what else. It's like sigh. So it gets. What I'm getting for that is it's like sometimes it sees you being kind of hopeless and sighing, and it's like with hopelessness, and it's hearing, do not be, do not be hopeless. Do not be hopeless, and because it says it's going to come in to save the day, and it wants to help take you to a victory. This pet wants to take you to a victory. Find your backbone. It wants you to find your backbone too, because I'm hearing this pet it's kind of like, in some cases, it's this pet that's coming in. It's that you may have known it before, or it may have watched you during your life. It's either you've known it before, is like before, but this pet, either way, whether it's watched you during this life from the other side, or it's actually came into your reality, which is just a very likely case too. It wants you to have your backbone, because and find your root chakra, because it sees that you don't have a backbone sometimes, in some cases, and it's the counter energy of this. It has a backbone. I hear this pet. It has a backbone. No one walks over it. It's very wily. It does what it wants. So it wants you to find its backbone, just like you. And let's see, or like it. I mean, it wants you to find its backbone, like it. Laugh at your demons, and I see this image of this tiny dog, just almost a very mischievous dog, just saying, laugh at your demons, and just running around, and just being crazy. I see it in some cases. Very assertive though. A dog that some people would say is too much, but the dog has its backbone. So I'm seeing in some cases a small dog, but it could be just has its backbone. And it tells you to look forward. It says it will meet you again in this life, but look forward. It wants you to sort of release this sad, dour energy, to find your backbone, look forward, laugh at your demons. It wants to, and it will arrive in your life. Yeah, possibly, like I said, with another person, but one way or another, it will find its way into your life. It enjoys the other side as well too, though. I'm hearing it. It enjoys the other side. It has a fun time there, but it's like it's time to come back into this reality, and it wants to come into the reality with you. But it's sort of, it says it enjoys the other side. It enjoys causing mischief. It enjoys causing mischief. And that's all we've got for pile number one. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you can make a comment or like if this resonated. And check out my other videos about a lot of different subjects: pets, narcissistic abuse healing, yes or no questions, dreams, and a lot of other subjects. So check out the playlist and see if you want to subscribe. So hello, pile number two. We've got the green flashlight pile. So let's see, what do we got for the next pet that is going to be entering your life? Let's see. So death, interesting. Death. We got the first one. Justice, interesting. Ace of Wands, and the Star, interesting. Ace of Wands. So I'm getting different threads with death. I'm hearing that the death that it went through is not in vain. So you may have been very, very sad about losing this pet, this pet. But I'm hearing the death was not in vain. It brought a healing and a justice to your life. So I'm getting this as a pet that you had before that passed on. Like, it passed on. You were very, very sad about it, and it may have been, you know, it may have been, may have felt very wrong or unjust. It may have been, died too early, or I'm hearing it may have been hit like a sort of a freak accident maybe, but it may have felt very unjust the way that you lost this pet. But I'm hearing that it's not in vain, and that it will come back in a very new way. It wanted to have a new body. It wanted to, and it may be, I'm hearing you may have been very angry about the way that you lost this pet, and felt it was very unjust. I'm hearing in some a car accident, but I'm hearing in others, it died in like a young way, or an unjust. I'm hearing even it could have been killed by another pet or something, but some way it just felt very, very, like, very traumatic and unjust is what it felt like. And I'm hearing that do not feel angry about the way that this pet that you had a pet die in the past. Do not be angry about it, because it will have a new form, a more like, yeah, here is, it will have a very new form that's appropriate, that's more, perhaps more appropriate to it. And do not be angry at the way that this pet passed away in the past, is what I'm hearing. But I'm hearing it will come back in a new way, and it is, but a new way, and it's kind of, right now what I'm hearing is it sort of connecting to its spiritual essence on the other side. It's kind of connected. It's doing its lessons on the other side, and it's like and it's a new, so it wants a new form, but it almost feels like to do that it has to learn some spiritual lessons. So it's been doing things in the universe on the astral realm a lot to sort of, almost, I'm hearing, earn its stars. And it could be with you, I'm hearing, but it could be with something else. Like it wanted to sort of earn its stars, but it will come back to you in a new, like it's sort of like, I see this image of it wants, like, almost how an angel, I don't know if you watched the movie, I can't remember, but it sort of wants to earn its stripes, to feel almost interesting, to feel connected to the universe. It does all these things to feel it can earn its stripes. Interesting. So I hear this image of it, this bird. I'm drawn to the bird, and it's sort of like it flies around and it sort of intervenes in other people's lives too. So it's a sort of a an animal that, and I'm not getting the specifics. It could be anything. It could be a cat, dog. It could even be a bird. But yeah, I'm getting, for some, it could be a bird, a cat. But if it's a dog, it's kind of a spiritual, quieter dog. It's got like kind of a connected spiritual energy. And if it's a bird, it flies around. It could be a bird or have been your bird. It may come back as a bird, but it's like it it kind of it sows seeds of spiritual connected essence wherever it goes, and that's what it does on the other side. It intervenes with other people's lives, and I'm hearing, even when it comes back, when it goes into it may leave while it's in its body and do different things to different people, intervene in other people's lives to make them better. I'm hearing that's what it likes to do. It interviews, reevaluate your priorities, and I'm hearing that this pet helped you, or will help you reevaluate your priorities. But I'm hearing it does that to other people. It whispers in people's ears and tells them things on the astral realm. Interesting. So yeah, I'm getting this image, not just with you, but it tells people, count your blessings. And I'm hearing, again, do not be sad about the way that you lost this pet, and do not be angry if it seemed unjust, or yeah, I'm hearing that something killed it in some cases. Something it may have felt untimely and just very wrong. It felt wrong, but I'm hearing it's not wrong, and it can come back to you in different forms. So it's not wrong how you lost this pet. But I'm hearing, yeah, it whispers things in people's ears, and makes them go on different paths. That's interesting. So it's a spiritual cat. It could be, an ET cat. It could be kind of a spiritually, connected cat, or even dog. So it can come back as a dog, as a cat. So it brings messages too. I'm hearing with the bird, it brings messages to, like, to people. It may bring messages to you, but it does this to other people. So it's like it does all these things, but I'm hearing it will be very active in this way, even when it's back with you. That's what it likes to do. Journey, and I heard the journey back to you was a long one, but a fun one. Interesting. So it will make a journey back to you, and I'm hearing it could be a recent pet that you lost, but I'm hearing it could even be like a very young, like a pet that you had when you were very, like, young, like two to five. I'm hearing, so it could be very recent, but it could also be young. And I'm hearing, if that's the case, if it was when you were young, like 2 to 5, 2 to 6, or something, where it really imprinted on you. I hear the journey back to you was a long one, but I always planned to come back to you at one time in your life. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. So this is yeah, wife maybe. It's like I'm hearing it maybe very long ago that it's yeah, I'm getting at like young, like long time, a long time ago when you were. I'm indicating when you were a child. Like I'm hearing you when you were a child. Waiting, and I hear that you're waiting for it, but it's waiting for you too. But it had to go on a journey. But yeah, it may have been around you when you were a child, like very young, like 1 to 7, 1 to 6. It could have been, yeah. I'm getting something like 1 to 7, something in that realm, and it's like it's been waiting to come back to you for a long time, or it came back to you. It came back to you a little bit, like maybe twice, but it's like it will it will come back when the time is right. A house, so it's like maybe you have to be in the right location for it to come back, like move to the right location, or something like that. Something about a house that wants, and it wants to be of service to you, but I'm hearing it also wants to be a service to other people. So it's not just service to you, it's service to, because a lot of pets are just service to one person, but I'm hearing no, this pet, it on the astral realm, it's a service to many, many people. It doesn't just focus on you. Interesting. Despair. It helps to get people out of despair is what it does. It whispers words on the other side to help people get out of despair. So yeah, I'm getting sort of a very spiritual cat, a do-gooder cat, a do-gooder, um, or a do-gooder dog or bird even. I'm hearing in some cases it could be like very much a do-gooder, that likes to go around and do good to get its stripes. It likes to, interesting, I'm hearing it likes to get its stripes with God. Interesting. It likes to win God's approval. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing. It has a concept of God, this cat. It's interesting because or this cat or pet, whatever it is, because a lot of pets, there are cats in particular, sometimes they seem to think that they're God, but nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having high self-esteem. But, but this pet, it seems to have it has a conception of God. Interesting. And it's like it wants to appease God. That's what I keep on getting. But yeah, it will come back at the appropriate time, and it has a very healing influence on many, many people. And but it will come back to you when the time is right. So that's all we've got for pile number 2. And then now let's move on to pile number 3, the green ball or cat ball pile. All right. So hello, pile number 3. Let's see what we get for the next pet that you are going to have into your life. Interesting. So interesting because I get some very interesting here because let's see if I can. I might need some clarifiers with this, but I'm getting a contrast here because I'm getting a very powerful, moving energy, but then I've also got in the center a very powerful moving energy. Interesting, but around the powerful moving energy, I've got a very slow moving energy, like the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. He's waiting in reverse. The King of Pentacles in reverse, which is kind of a slower energy. So slow, slow. And then the Eight of Wands, which is a very fast card, but it's in reverse. So slow. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see what I can. So I'm hitting with this. This is a very. Okay, I'm going to get the energy of this. Okay, why is everything so slow around? And then the Knight of Pentacles is so fast. So I'm hearing that this is a very speedy. It could be a dog that like one of those chihuahuas that runs around that's really fast, or it could be a cat that's really fast. It's like it almost feels like it doesn't. It's what it's coming. Okay, when it's coming back to me, when it's coming is a pet that really does not want to be contained. It really wants it can come back, but it wants to be assured that it will always be entertained. Interesting. It really wants to be entertained, and I'm hearing when it comes back, it may I'm hearing that interesting. I'm hearing that it doesn't want to be bored. if it comes back, this pet. Like it's sort of looking for the right circumstances, but it may have been, you may have had a very, very energetic pet in the past, and it's like, or I'm hearing, yeah, it may have reincarnated with a really slow grandpa in the past in some cases, like in its reincarnation, it wants to come back again, but it's like, yeah, I'm getting a slow grandpa reincarnated in with like his last lifetime, and it wants to come back with someone, but it's looking for, I'm hearing it may really wants to make sure it's entertained, or it's, things are fast, interesting, or it may want to come in with an, in some cases, an entertaining other pet, an entertaining, like the pet that entertains, but it wants to make sure that things are not slow and it's entertained. Death. I keep on seeing it says, he says boredom will be the death of me. It says boredom will be the death of me. Interesting. So it may, I wasn't expecting this. I am hearing that it was bored to death. This, and it was like in another lifetime, or something. It may have been. It may have been. I don't know, but it's what wants to make sure that it's not bored to death. Interesting. I'm getting. I wasn't expecting it. So let me get some clarifiers because I'd like to get some more clarifiers. Okay. There's some. So get three at the top. Ace of Wands, the Star, and Four of Pentacles. Like it doesn't want to feel hemmed in, is what I'm hearing with the Four of Swords in reverse. It always wants to feel like it has hope and options. So I'm hearing to prepare the right environment for this pet. Once it knows that you've prepared the right environment where it's going to be entertained, I hear it may even want kids around, or not kids around, but another something around that is always entertaining. Like I see this image of a hamster wheel. Like it has so much energy, and it needs to be. So maybe it's waiting. I'm getting hearing in some cases it's waiting till you're in the right environment that will be stimulating enough for it. And I'm hearing, how can you, like it wants tons of exercise, this pet that you're bringing in, tons of play, tons of cat toys. If it's like one of those, I'm hearing those laser pointer toys that like they run on its own, or but it likes it when you are engaged with it with the laser toy. Interesting. So it's like it really wants to say, like, when it comes in here, you better entertain it. Interesting. You better entertain it. And I'm hearing it wasn't entertained in a life before this. So it's like it says, please entertain me. Please entertain me a lot, and I have all this energy that I need to release, and I can't be contained. It keeps on saying I just cannot be contained. Interesting. Interesting. So this is a very much a pet that cannot be, that does not want to be contained, and it's so how can you engage higher reason? So I'm hearing express your joy, like it wants to help express your joy. This pet that's coming in, but it's here to transmute energy, and the way it does that is by just having tons of energy running through it all the time. That's how it helps you specifically express its joy, is by running around. I'm hearing it ran around constantly. It never seemed to stop having energy. So it could be a pet you've had before like this, but it's being very clear that it needs to, I'm hearing you'll like I just hear I'm hearing I don't I like yeah, I'm just hearing what I'll just say what I'm saying, but it's saying you'll have to step it up for me to come into your reality, because I really want things to be different. I am hearing it says you have to step it up um, by having a really like an environment, and I want more walks. It says it's kind of almost making a bargaining with you. It's like I will come into your reality if you agree to these stipulations. So it's quite yeah, it's actually bargaining. It's coming through, and it's like you've got to step it up, and I hope this is not coming out as like offensive or anything, but it's saying, like it says before, I come through to your reality, it says, into your plane. I will have to talk it over with your higher self to make sure that the environment is suitable for me. And it says I will only go into a suitable environment with lots of stimulation, and things have to be just right for me. So it says I hear this image of start channeling with me. Start channeling with me and write out. It says you can channel me. And so I said this image of taking out a piece of paper and and just writing down what, just going into a meditative state, and just using automatic writing and 5 stipulations for it to come into your reality. So yeah, it will bargain with you to how the environment should be. So it's a kind of, it wants things to be a certain way, and it wants, for some, it's very much stimulation that it wants. Like it wants, for others, it's very picky about the environment. That it will only go into an environment that it's absolutely pristine. But it says, for some, if I'm hearing for some, it's about being lots of activity. You'll need to step it up in terms of the activity that um, I don't want to be bored all day. It says I don't want to be bored all day. It's well, some of the pets that are coming in, their stipulations, but for others, it says you're going to have to be more specific about what those stipulations are. So I see the image. Get a piece of paper, channel, and you can start to talk to this pet, but you will have to bargain with it to come into this reality. And I hear it's generally 3 to 5, just mostly 3 to 5. Mostly 3 to 5. For in some occasional, we might be 7 stipulations for some really um, picky pets, if you will. But yeah, 3 to 5 stipulations, and then you'll have to agree to these stipulations, and then it will decide to come into your reality. But you'll know, you just go into a meditative state, um, and talk to the pet that you want to draw in, that you have. And I hate, yeah, in most cases, you've known this pet before, and it wants to come in again, but it wants the environment to be different in some way. It wants the environment to be different, and you will have to sit down and bargain with this pet to tell it how the environment will be. Like, just sit down with a piece of paper and be like, okay, what do you want? And you'll hear it tell you through like automatic writing or intuition how it wants to be, and it wants you to write it out, and make almost a contract with it about how it wants things to be, and how you can both agree to make it how it wants to be. Interesting. So yeah, a piece of paper, do the channeling, and yeah, just simple. Just sit down in a quiet place with the piece of paper, write it out, and once it feels that there is clarity about, and an agreement about the environment that you are going to create for it, then it will come in. It will come in various forms. Like here, it doesn't matter the form it will come in. You will know, but it's like it's very clear about the sort of the environment that it wants to come into, and it says once that has been clarified, um, it clarified, because hearing it wasn't, we can call it likes you, but something about the environment before in some cases was not to its liking. And it says it's not blaming you. It's not blaming you at all. It wants to, because it's saying it's not blaming you at all, but it's just something about it was not quite right and it could have been when you were just in an environment. It could have been when you were a child, when it wasn't quite right. Like like I'm hearing in some cases, it just came in to be with you, but it wasn't the environment, due to no to your fault of your own, was not good for it for some reason. And it's just like, but it wants to work them things out with you in regards to the life that it had with you. Well, it wasn't quite right, and once it's in a hearing, yeah, in some cases it's like work it out with it. That sort of the maybe trauma in some cases it had with you as a child, And then I'm hearing it once that we've worked that out. You can also work with paper, and this is sort of different than the stipulations, but it's, it could, some because it could be connected, but and once you've clarified that with it, it will come in with great speed. I hear with great speed, because it's kind of reticent now to come in because of some sort of thing that wasn't quite right, that it needs to work itself out with you. But once you do the writing, it will come in with great speed and at the right appropriate time with great speed, but it will be more amenable to coming into your life once it's worked this sort of childhood trauma or past trauma out with you where things were not right, and then it wants to clarify that the environment that it comes in will be a very certain way. So it wants to work. Yeah, so that's all you've got. Work it out, clarify it, do some writing, automatic writing, talk to it, bring the spirit of this pet that you sense that's right for you to bring in. And once it's clarified, but it's saying, like, it's saying, no, I do not blame you for this. I do not blame you for this. But it was a situation that you couldn't control. I'm hearing where things kind of just, but it loves you, but it just wants to make sure things are just right when it comes in, and it just wants to work things out with you. Okay, interesting. So that's what we've got for pile number 3. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that was a. I'm going to give it a like or comment, and check out my other videos, and um, check out my other videos in the playlist section. See if they're if you like them. See if you want to subscribe. I cover a whole bunch of different topics on this channel, so check that out in the playlist section. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. And good luck, and have a good day. Bye bye.